Over this weekend, I was told that I am suspended from AGDQ 2020 and retroactively from SGDQ 2019 and GDQX and AGDQ 2019. Me and several other Mario Maker runners organized together to submit Super Mario Maker 2 for GDQ. We did all this. Everyone submitted, during the AGDQ 2020 submissions, which were the end of August, about 5 weeks ago. Saturday evening, I even got the timestamp here because there were some people who were skeptical about when this happened. Almost 7 p.m. Eastern. I was informed that I am retroactively banned from my October 2018 slur incident, which we'll get into more about that in a little bit later here. So what was submitted actually was a 4v4 format, where we were going to do essentially the blind relay race again because it's a banger. We were going to have some level creators make some dope levels, and we had a 4v4 format where if you die, pass the controller, and the blind factor of playing these phenomenal levels that would utilize the new Mario Maker 2 items, properties, item interactions, level mechanics all come together. It's a dope time. It's awesome, right? Everyone who speedruns any kind of Mario game, usually we all. It's the water cooler. Everyone, if you're all in the Mario Maker building, no matter what department or floor you work on, everyone collides at Mario Maker, essentially. We all submitted for that, all the 8 runners and the associated commentator, so it's like more than 8 people. I think it's total 11 people total here. All submitted for the Mario Maker 2 4v4 relay race at the end of August, about 5 weeks ago. And then we fast forward to this past weekend, this Saturday night, today's Monday. So 2 days ago, Saturday, I get the email that I am suspended and retroactively suspended, as well as suspended for AGDQ 2020, and that I can't commentate or perform in any runs for GDQ, which is okay for my October 8th, 2018 incident, which is okay. The problem there though is that I'm getting told that, so late, that now there's a scramble to figure out what to do. Does this, now that I cannot be part of the planned speed run, what do you do? Do you drop, if you drop a runner, you got a 3v4, which is kind of awkward. Do you drop another runner and make it a fair 3v3 and have an additional commentator? If so, who drops? That also sucks. Or will GDQ allow, will they allow the Mario Maker crew to add an additional person after submissions have already been done? They're really, really picky about that kind of thing. So it is not to be assumed that they were going to allow that. They had to be reached out from the higher ups to get the granting and whatnot. So while that was being resolved, I'm held in limbo because I don't know if if they don't allow someone to replace, is my only remaining option to appeal? Because the email I got didn't really give me any leeway. It sounded like I was pretty much zero tolerance policy was the quote there. So which I get. So I'm just like, fuck, man. Am I being dragged for things in the past? And I've shot down the ideal iteration of the speedrun, beyond, it's affecting more than just me. So it's a lot, man. It was a lot of guilt and honestly a lot of embarrassment I felt again for what I did. I'm just like, man, I really, really want to solve it. So I reached out to them. I emailed them asking if were there any, can I talk to someone about any kind of appeal process? Can I, can we, even beyond me, just not ruining the run? Because who's going to have to drop from that run to make it a 3v3 now? Or are you going to have everyone on stage in the Twitch chat and everyone in between asking, why is it a 4v3? If they could not get another run again, that was the whole thing. They were waiting on the response from everyone else about what were their options. Sadly, I never got any response from any of the managerial staff from GDQ. Essentially I was ghosted, which, sure, I'm not a priority to respond to because I'm suspended and I'm irrelevant to the whole equation here. So it's whatever on that one. Now, however, this does get some good news here. The good news is the crew gets word from GDQ higher ups that they're granted the ability to add someone who may have not submitted to the group. I do believe Pangia is going to be the replacement runner. So it will remain being a 4v4 with the planned commentators, with the planned level makers, with the planned slot. So the run itself is not jeopardized, restored, and good to go. So because that is resolved now, though, that's resolved. I no longer have any confliction with compromising their run. Their run is good to go. Now we can bring it back to about me and my situation, which is why we're here on my stream right now. Let's go to what my Discord ping was, because this is the important thing. This is what everyone who's already in the know about the incident saw Saturday night, which was, you know, within 10 minutes of me getting the news that I am suspended from GDQ, and the Mario Maker 2 run is now potentially in jeopardy. So let's read it together here. This is what I pinged in my Discord. Let's read this first. That way you know what I knew as of Saturday night, and then we'll get into the elaborative breakdown of what happened over the weekend up until now. So it comes with great sadness to inform all of you that I can't be part of I can't be a part of AGDQ 2020. The Mario Maker 2 block was accepted, but also found out apparently I am suspended from being part of any submissions conveniently until after AGDQ 2020. My F-slur suspension from October 2018, my F-slur suspension from Twitch from October 2018, carried a suspension retroactively, their words, for SGDQ 2019 and AGDQ 2020. I would have found out, I guess, if I had anything to submit for either SGDQ or GDQX, question mark, quite saddening. Incredibly tilting news, not much I can do. The Mario Maker 2 team is trying to scramble a replacement runner, but they may have to drop one of theirs for the 4v4 to become a 3v3 with additional commentator. As of now, I have no reason to attend 2020 GDQ, so hopefully, so super doubtful I will go. I wish I had more to report or say, and then that was that ping there, right? I kept it short and to the point. And then you know, as talking in my Discord here, someone took additional things here. Ban was informed to me an hour ago. I wasn't aware I was banned, and that was taken from my Discord, and that's what the majority of everyone had to work with, which is what led to the Reddit thread and the LSF thread and the article. And you know, from there I saw what had happened, and I was like, oh shit, well, I shouldn't have done that. I do regret disclosing that in the first place, because I should have kept everything under wraps and there wouldn't be any of this right now. So for that, I do apologize, but I'm only human. I was very emotionally irrational. I was super sad. I was super mad. I just was like, damn, dude, I'm being dragged again for a thing from you know, a year ago, like literally almost a year ago, like 363 days ago. And which, you know, sure, certainly. Just damn, out of, you know, usually these kind of things you can prepare for, like the consequence, the action leads to a consequence. I just didn't see this being a possibility, so I wasn't prepared or braced for it, whether it be emotionally or literally. So it was like I had to confront this again with now all of the Mario Maker teammates aware that it's affecting them in some negative manner, stressing them out, something I wouldn't have done. Had I known it was already banned, I obviously would have, like, I don't know, told them I wouldn't have. But there is some key context here though. Had I had anything to submit to either SGDQ this year or GDQX, perhaps I would have, obviously I would have been vetted at that point and told that I am suspended. But we'll get to the whole retroactive suspension thing in a bit here. Now that you guys are in the complete context of what was known as of Saturday night, we can now move back here to this. In my Discord ping, I said here that I was suspended for my F-slur incident. Not everyone knows about what happened then, because we're bringing up people who were around for that a year ago compared to who are now hearing about that a year later. So obviously you Google it and all you see, all there is, there's no clip, there's no VOD, there's no context, it's all deleted footage now because it was considered hate speech. But you know, you Google it and you probably could find the Kotaku article where it is detailed that I uttered a homophobic slur. I would prefer for you all to not use that language. I don't endorse using language at all. I don't use it personally. I've been clean and reformed and all that action reinforced stuff, not just speaking about it, but being about it. So I would encourage you, if you're a representative of my community or a representative of me or associated with me, to not use that language, even satirically. I'm aware of what I said. I'm aware of any defense mechanisms I could pull here, would just be like, well, if you wouldn't have said it, you wouldn't be in the situation you're in right now. So I completely get all of that, and I'm not asking for mercy. I would like to say that I've shown this point, I've owned up to it. I did a genuine apology. I've been on, I don't want to say woke mode, because I was already on woke mode beforehand. It was like a isolated incident. And I've been pretty good. I'll just use a generic term here. I've been pretty good about showing how I'm all around an advocate for LGBTQIA+ rights. progressive populist policies. I've been against bigotry. I've fought in the ally of marginalized communities in a lot of ways, whether it be on Scuff Podcast or Raj Royale or my own independent podcast with Cutie Cinderella as a guest at one point. You can Google my track record on that one, right? It's pretty good. I haven't ever brought back a context or revisited this incident because I know that it comes off as like I want mercy. But I feel like now that it's being brought back again, that I feel like I'm at least owed a fair chance to at least like bring more context to it. So October 8, 2018, I was playing Super Mario Party. The day it just came out, the new one for the Switch, the one that like is kind of mediocrely received now. We were doing a 4 human player game or whatever. It was me, my girlfriend, and my roommate's friend, and a friend of his friend. So like people who I don't normally have on the stream, people who are not typically like super savvy on, these are right. I want to say like regular people. They're not like broadcaster savvy people. So they were a little rowdy. They were like, well, I mean, shit, are we drinking or what? So they had been drinking. They continued to drink while we were playing salty Mario Party. So yeah, this led to just like, it was incredibly rowdy. It was very salty. I'm sure you've all played the new Mario Party. You know how problematic it gets. The comeback factor is out of control. The economy for the board shop items are stupid. People can just, once you're winning, it's so easy to keep on winning. The game has no detection over, like, if you roll a 10 and there are 2 shop locations within 10 spaces of each other, the game is not hard programmed to make the shop not respawn on the same path as someone rolling the same 10. Meaning that you can roll a 10 and get 2 shop visits on the same roll and just continue to absolutely steamroll the competition as you continue to be too rich to fail. Hashtag capitalism. You just get jaded and you're like, oh my God, this game is dumb. Well, at one point there was a 4-way minigame, and everyone opted to like screw over me, despite me not even winning at this point, not even close. They all just like were 3v1 assaulting me. I don't know what other really word to use here. And there was a lot of like heated gamer terminology said. I think I'm allowed to say this one here. At one point, one of them screamed at me, take that dick, Trihex. And I, in a lapse of judgment, said, you guys play like the slur. Notably here, I didn't say the 2-syllable, I said the 1-syllable. You play like blank. And I told my known friend, who I know is not gay, that that they play like that. So, and I said it at the heat of the moment. It came out, and I knew that's like it's not something I would normally do. It was a very, very, very bad judgment, and I immediately apologized afterward. I was like, oh man, I really wish I hadn't said that. So I knew that I had messed up. I knew that I did some consequential actions, and that hopefully things would work out. But ultimately here, I had the anxiety and the sinking feeling of like, well, oh shit, I fucked up. So I immediately apologized, and then I don't actually remember exactly what happened here, but I do remember making a separate apology and going long form on like why it wasn't okay to do what I did. Again, on my own independent accord, because I was just like, dang, dude, I really wish I hadn't did that. So that happened, and then after the stream ended, I was contacted by Twitch via email that I'm suspended, and from there, what did I write down here? Oh yeah, and then from there, I opted to do a Twitter apology once I was able to reach the bare minimum to remove emotional scarring from the equation. It's some people, and the reason why I bring this up here is some people think that I apologize only because I was suspended. I wanted to go to Twitter and like do some impulsive, emotional tweets about the whole thing. Being emotionally irritable and mixing that with a permanent ink of internet documentation is not a good combination, whether it be in Discord, Twitter, whatever. Honestly, when you're feeling that kind of way, whenever you're like on an emotional high and it's like in the wrong direction, like the negative spectrum, it's important to kind of just step away before you make more regrets or more consequential actions occur. Now, while I was suspended though, here's where the final part of the whole thing here. So we're still back here in October 2018, before TwitchCon 2018. You guys may recall last year here that I was already approved to be part of the the Try Hard video game. Forgive me, I forgot what it was called. Well, you know, the one where it's like, you know, I bust open the door, I'm all like, try hard. So I had to go visit Twitch headquarters in San Francisco, while banned, which was really, really awkward. Like, the band happened on a Thursday or a Friday, and then I had to go fly to SF for an already planned Twitch HQ visit to do a TwitchCon secret shoot while suspended, which was really awkward. Now, I was already, like, you know, in the middle of reforming. I had a lot of reflection. I talked to some friends about the whole thing, because at first, yeah, I was trademark negative. I was like, you know, why me? You know, what aboutism? There's other broadcasters who get away with this and that, and blah blah blah, and I'm getting like a 30-day over this. This is like, you know, I had all those feelings. When I was at Twitch HQ, I mean, it's just LGBTQ everywhere. It's like, you know, I was at the cafeteria, I'm seeing everyone there. You know, they have the big Jumbotron in the cafeteria at the Twitch headquarters where they have like random streams on. It'll be like 6 to 9 streams at any given time. And it's not just Doc or Forsen or Soda Poppin or whoever. It's like you're seeing like small streams on there, and it could be yours. You know, I understand for a lot of y'all broadcasters out here right now, you may think that you exist in a vacuum, you know, that you're performing in front of a mirror all day long, and you can never relate to the tangible change and effects you have on your audience or anyone who's watching, part of your community or not. But it's real. There are real human beings who are watching you. It's not a mirror, it's a window. And I felt that when I was like, oh man, my stream could be on here at any given time. People that I don't even think are watching me. You know, I'm thinking I have a bunch of like, you know, 39-year-old, you know, bald spot having basement dwelling neckbeards, the only people who watch me. Not true. TwitchCon 1, I met parents of young children who watched me, and I was a way edgier, curse-happy, dare I say, cringy streamer back then. That really grounded me on the reality that, you know, is that what I want to be known for? What are my, I have to refocus here. What are my definitive traits? Do I require all of that? Could I not curb it down a little bit more and be a little less in the niche and be a little more of a well-rounded person who can actively engage all of my audience in a better manner? I saw the realm of accountability that I had as a broadcaster, and it made me just want to do better. So not only that, but because I was surrounded by all these people, all these you know, all the LGBTQ and everything else all around the Twitch staff, I felt shame. I felt like I didn't know who was walking around. Like, you know, I'm literally surrounded by like 100+ Twitch staff, right? They could be an engineer department, they could be the moderation department, they could be partner managers. I don't even know, right? I don't know who's who, but I know that I feel tainted. I feel ugly. I feel like slime. It's like, yeah, I am their ally. I'm not here to hurt anybody. And I felt shame. I wish I hadn't done it. And at that point, I knew that I truly was reformed. I didn't want to do it anymore. Or I didn't even want to do it even then, but I didn't want to fight. It wasn't like a why me? It's like, no, I'm glad I have another 4 days of being suspended left, because when I come back, I will have had enough time to reflect to not even have the will to fight. Instead, I have the will to reform and be better. That's what I got right there for you. So that genuine reform is what really got me on a new path at that point. And that felt really, really good. So that is essentially the entire October 8th F slur incident. Back to the suspension of me being suspended from AGDQ. The handling of it, obviously they could have notified me sooner. You know, rather than making it a stress and a worry and a scramble to figure out what can and can't be done to resolve the matter if I'm permanently banned or not. Could have did that. They could have replied to any emails I had, because I had a very terrible Sunday, quite frankly. I was stressed out. I was embarrassed. I felt like I was being, like I said here just in my next point here, re-embarrassed and dragged seemingly needlessly. Would have been great. Like, you know, honestly, this whole thing would have been avoided if I was told I was banned, suspended from GDQ upon submission. In their defense, I didn't submit anything. You know, after my suspension, Not really due to it, but more that I didn't have any speed runs to submit. That's just, not to even overthink it here. I didn't submit. So I didn't submit to AGDQ 2019, and I didn't, and because of Mario Maker 2 coming out the same week of SGDQ 2019, I didn't go because I chose to, you know, grind my content and pursue my stream growth rather than go to GDQ. So the handling could have been better. The transparency could have been better. The, I mean, to this time right now, I still haven't had any of my emails responded to. There's other things here too, like, you know, the suspension includes all 2019, you know, AGDQ, SGDQ, GDQX, and AGDQ 2020. So it is like it's technically a 1.25 year suspension, which, you know, I'm not here to argue over, like, you know, the standard should be, the standard of being offended should be that I get 1 year suspension for what I said and did or whatever, even though I already got punished from Twitch for this as well. It's their own independent private organization. They can have their own standards. They can do whatever they want here. And it's just like, I don't know. It does have a hint of arbitrary extension just to like lock me out. That way they had their say so for retribution for what I did back then. But, you know, that is purely a conspiratorial thing, which I'm hoping I don't want to feed further here, but I feel like it was important to bring up the duration, the unspecified duration of what it comes down to. There are still inconsistent on standards of acceptance for runs. I get that it's a marathon, has an unbelievably daunting task of vetting a crap ton of speed runs for verification into what is accepted and what is declined. You have a 7-day marathon, it's 140 hours long. If I recall correctly, my math right there. 140 hours long. I probably got that number wrong actually. Fuck, I don't know. Someone did the math here. 7 times 24. And you know, you are routinely getting 2,000 to 3,000 hours of speed runs to have to consider what you're going to put in your week-long marathon twice a year, right? With that in mind, what I mean by inconsistent on standards is that, like, for example here, hey, and I hopefully no one's gonna be mad about me name dropping, but Cheese, your favorite 64 Mario speedrunner submitted a crowd control, audience interaction, Twitch chat interaction, unique twist on Mario 64 speedruns. It does require use of an emulator to utilize. I don't know if that's exclusive to that or not. I do think some other crowd control things like Link to the Past can work on real-time console, but apparently GDQ has banned emulators, or that was the official reason he was given that his run was declined. But at the same time, Oats and Goats submitted a ROM hack of Super Metroid, and that did get accepted. Now that's not directly the exact same thing, no doubt, but if I cite that his Super Metroid Impossible run got accepted at 2.5 hours long as a ROM hack, then I could only just say here, well, my submission for Golden Yoshi's Island, which was taking the most popular ROM hack and making it into a refined 2.5 hour package, was declined for being too long or something like that. And you know, obviously the answer I was told here is that was declined because it was a modification catered to GDQ acceptance, and for that reason it was declined or something like that. But yeah, point is that you know, it's kind of sketch, I would say, at face level value here. 2.5 hour ROM hack gets accepted in, mine didn't get accepted in, Cheese's run didn't get accepted on accounts of it being an emulator ran run. It's kind of a little wishy-washy there. So in general, that is like my one nitpicky example of like inconsistent standards. I'm always an advocate for having more transparency and that just kind of knowing what they want. Because, let's say here the next point here, ultimately, it does feel like a gamble to invest content production into the marathons, which I get. I get is a super first world problem, and it shouldn't be about growing yourself. It should be about fulfilling the charity for the great cause, because it's a selfless thing and all that great stuff there. But if we can put the high roading of that aside here and just bring up the objective truth that as a content creator, you kind of have to like justify 6 months plus of your time to optimize the speed run to being, you know, big platform GDQ ready, and you really just don't have any clue if what you're doing is a gamble. It's a risk. It's an inherent risk to like, is it gonna get it? Is it not gonna get it? I don't know. You know, if you have a certain level of clout, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it just ultimately there's just like not really much going on there unless there's like some backroom stuff that I don't know about. But it does feel like a gamble to invest in that, and that is like a critique I'd love to see addressed by GDQ. And it's one that if it was, I'd be very happy. I would love to just have a running idea of what is desired or what is wanted. But I get that that's just like, you know, that's a very selfish personal thing. It's not something I'm universally asking everyone to demand on my behalf. I'm just bringing up here what are my general critiques of GDQ that I think would make it a better marathon and have more QOL involved for those who are helping put on their show. But that's just, you know, one guy's opinion. From here, actually, we're pretty much done. I've told you all everything I got here. For those people who may not be listening here, who axe me out because I am a bigot for using a slur in a derogatory sense towards someone, which is what happened once. When you aim to go for retribution over rehabilitation, all you are doing is expediting my execution, which is why ultimately I am not going to AGDQ 2020. It made me feel embarrassed again for what I said and did, despite all things I'm trying to do to reform that. And I just imagine I'm gonna get asked a bunch of times here, why aren't you on that stage with everyone else playing Mario Maker 2? I'm gonna have to relive those ugly moments that I do regret. If this is what it's gonna be, where there's like essentially, I don't know, I'm canceled by some people and all the other good stuff. Yeah, I just can't, I don't wanna go. I don't wanna go because I don't want to, I'd rather just like let this whole thing resolve and cheer everyone on who's gonna be doing the Mario Maker run there. And maybe I'll see about going to a GDQ in the future. But it's kind of icky, so I'm not, my gut reaction right now is I don't wanna go. And that's not meant to like farm for sympathy. This is what I've been weighing on like all day. Sunday was very stressful for me because I was essentially in emotional limbo. I felt like I really wanted to talk to someone about all these feelings, about all these things I currently feel, and I had no one to go to because I am a content creator, because I'm a public figure, I'm on a platform, and because what I'm feeling is unique to being known. It's not a thing most people can relate to. I understand I'm in a privileged state of being a content creator, and there are many people who would like kill to be where I am right now. But at the same time, it's so unrelatable, the unique stresses of like, you know, I did one Discord ping and it got a Reddit thread that has like, you know, freaking 500 plus replies over the course of a day. And anything I say or do at this point now is being held to, you know, 10 connected megaphones out to the wild. And then I'm stuck with, you know, the misconstruing of anything I say, and I have to like play defense mode nonstop. So just like I'm incentivized, just kind of like, you know, hush up and stay quiet. Especially because again, we were waiting for the speed run to resolve, and I don't want to jeopardize them. So I'm just kind of held in a limbo, and I was like, do I want to go live? Do I even stream today? What am I even gonna do? I don't know. You know, I'm obviously very, very sad, and I'm gonna put on a terrible stream that's gonna be full of emotional garbage. And you know, people are going to interpret it as me begging or being mad about everything else here. So I just ultimately I turned my phone off and I went to go walk my dog for a very, very, very long time. I was gone for probably upwards of 5 hours. I walked very far. I drove somewhere very far away and just like walked my dog and just like, you know, I let Skinny. You can't see her. You can't see her. I walk Skinny very, very far away. So, wowie in chat. With that aside here, the final thing before I get to open forum here, there's some very plausible concerns here about the whole incident. So one is another consideration is that we haven't heard GDQ's side of things. What if Trihex was notified that he was suspended and he just ignored the message? I have a screen cap from my emails from GDQ, and I never got sent anything. The last thing I got sent was an attendance guide from summer 2018 for attending SGDQ 2018 for commentating Mario Odyssey. There is no other emails in there from them aside from what is the notification that I'm suspended retroactively, and that one there. I have that screen cap. I don't want to show you that because I don't know if that's a good look on me for showing confidential stuff. So you can take it at word value or you can't. It's up to you. I don't know. You can believe me or not. I can only tell you that. And maybe you can understand why I'm not showing, you know, emails from GDQ, and I'm trying to ultimately just advocate for them to do better. and maybe change some policies a little bit here and there, but you know, I'm not anti GDQ, you know? So there's that one right there for you. I don't think he knows what retroactively means. And this, so someone said this in concerns to the fact that I, in my Discord ping, I put retroactively in quotation marks to describe what was the suspension, because I was retroactively suspended for, again, AGDQ 2019, or I'm sorry, AGDQ 19 and SGDQ 2019, but I didn't go. So I don't know, that's the wording that they literally used. But someone, you know, said that I didn't know what it meant but they misinterpreted me because I was using their little wording. So those are the two things I wanted to address right there. And from here, we're good. You now know everything I know. So congratulations to Carl, Pooh, Panga, Artur, Barbarous King, Xwater, Mitch, and everyone else who has speed runs at GDQ 2020, as well as the Mario Maker 2 block. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. And yeah, I'm here.